hour. Okay, yeah. Wow, $20 an hour? That's like $1 million. Like, sure. So then the kid's like, can we go to work with Dad this summer? And I'm like, okay. I think about stuff all the time. Sometimes I think of a bug fix when I'm sleeping. So in my dream, I will dream about the problem, and I'll think of a solution. I will wake up, fire up, and go, I fixed it! Shut up, go back to sleep. Sorry, I had a dream about that bug. How I could take that thing and fix it. She's like, yes, that's great. Tell me in the morning. Okay, I will.
So this is how much he thinks about like audio all the time. Like during COVID, there was one night when I woke up and I was really dizzy. It was very strange. So I woke up Colin, and I was telling him, Colin, I'm really dizzy, like just unimaginably dizzy. And he said to me, you need an APB. I was like, oh my
Let's
God.
go ahead and get a sync real quick here.
I can do that for you if you want.
Oh, please.
So I moved to the Bay Area, California in 1991. I worked for IBM. I wore a suit, and it was okay. And we worked on very big old mainframes. That's where I met my wife. So I'm grateful for all those things. But I always wanted to combine music and engineering. That's what I really wanted to do. I got lucky enough to have a job at DigiDesign after a while. That's the people who make Pro Tools. They're called Avid now, but back in the day, we were called DigiDesigner. And that was fun because that's when, believe it or not, recording your audio on a computer was kind of a new concept. And it was like 1995, 1996. We'd be going to trade shows explaining how we recorded the audio onto a hard drive, and it was okay, and you could back it up, and those ones and zeros wouldn't get lost. So that was a lot of fun, and that was sort of like, it was fun to be on a team of some pretty hardworking, talented people. I wound up working at Dolby Laboratories for a while after that. At Dolby, maybe it was a mistake, they put Ray Dolby's personal library of stuff at Dolby just to read about it. And they had things like, pictures of the company was very small, or like they had like pictures of like, the 4 employees with like the 8 boxes they sold that were shrink wrapped and ready to ship. And it just was like, it looked kind of seat of your pants, like kind of like an adventure. I was like, oh, that looks really cool. I bet you I could do that. And we're in Silicon Valley, so if I don't make it work, I'll just walk down the street and get a job somewhere else. My wife was like, yeah, you will. So, okay, yeah, I will. So I did, or didn't, but that was the option in case it didn't go well. And I think that's maybe something that, I think a lot of people don't get a chance to do is try their own ideas. I mean, you have to have sort of the right set of circumstances. You have to have the right set of, skills or experience. You have to have the right kind of spouse to go, yes, you go ahead and do that. Quit your perfectly good job and do something else where you're making no money whatsoever. Good luck. Thanks. And so McDSP was it. McDSP comes from the license plate of my car because I got that as a gift from Diana, my wife, when I was working at DigiDesign. I realized I'm never going to have a really fancy car because I'm working in the music industry, not like for, some giant, bank or something.
If you know him and you listen to him and all the ideas he has, he's really brilliant. And to not be able to do that would be really a pity. And so I feel like it's something that he had to do, and it's something you really have to support. I think it was AES in San Francisco. We spent like all night putting in the key discs, and then my parents were in town. They came to visit and we put them to work, like making these key discs for us. So it was a lot of different things just little things that we would do. One of the most notable things I remember is we went to this Digi World once, and it was a fine location, but the decor there wasn't much decor. So they gave us paint, and we were supposed to paint. Actually, there's a photo of it that right behind you. And so we painted the walls, and every plugin developer painted whatever they wanted. And so it was something really different. And it's I give a lot of credit to whoever thought, yeah, let's give all the developers paint and we'll spend a day painting the walls with different logos and things. But it was really interesting, and it's one of those memories that stands out in my mind still.
Filter Bank, the first plugin McDSP ever made. What's it do? Let me tell you what it does. It does filtering. Oh, I know you're shocked to hear that. It also does a lot of EQ and a lot more. Let's check it out. The Filter Bank E606 plugin has a unique feature, and that would be the peak slope dip controls. Here's how they work.
The Filter Bank EQ was your first plugin release and gained significant recognition. What was your creative process behind its development, and how did it set the stage for future innovations?
Wow, that's a tough one. Do you like grilled cheese? Everybody likes grilled cheese, but no one makes grilled cheese the way someone else likes it. So if you make grilled cheese, you put on too much cheese. It's too crispy on this side. It's not crispy enough. You didn't use butter, or you did use butter, or whatever that is, right? Everyone has a way of making grilled cheese. So equalizers, as common as they seem to be, especially nowadays, there's still all kinds of different ways to do it. So it sort of starts with that. So well, if I did an equalizer, I might call it filter bank, and it might be green. Yeah, I would do it the following way. I had some idea about the shelving EQ, where it has sort of like a peak slope dip, it has like an overshoot, a slope, and an undershoot. And all three of those parameters are pretty much the fundamental pieces of any shelving EQ, kind of like, the fundamental parts of grilled cheese. The type of bread, the type of cheese, the type of pan, the type of butter, bam, it's kind of the same thing. I just thought a cool way to do it. I thought that was a way to get a good sound out of like a shelving EQ. And I threw in some other types of equalizers in there too for filter bank, and I just thought that's what I would want, and so other people would like it. And sure enough, other people, yeah, I never had that kind of control before in an equalizer, so I'll take it.
I know that I met Colin quite early on and was very impressed when I first heard filter bank. Probably, I'm guessing he might have been the first person to ever come out with a plugin that made an attempt to replicate some of the classic gear. And that's not why I used it, though. I used it because it just sounded great. I to this day, if you run into any of my assistants on the street, just ask them about E6. I probably use at least 10 to 20 E6s every mix.
How do you guys as a company foster a culture of innovation among your team?
Our company is really small, and I think what people know is from day one, they're going to have an important role in the company. They're not going to be sitting back because we can't afford that. No one is, too good, too high up to do the job no one wants to do. I think people realize that they have the opportunity here to kind of make the job into something that they enjoy.
In general, for a tech company, your customer support's kind of like the face of the company. You better be ready, have like people to answer the phone. I always want to go through a phone tree and tell, no, do you use filter bank? 1 for yes, 0 for no. Okay, do you use compressor bank? 1 for yes. No one wants to do that kind of crap. They just want to pick up the phone, call somebody and go, yo, I got this problem, what's up? And someone can go, I got you. As a core value for McDSP, customer support is just like, this is the only customer touch we're going to get with by 99% of all our customers ever, is the one time they call in for help. And if we're lousy at it, they're going to remember that. And if we're great, they're going to remember that. Howdy. My wife says nice guys finish quickly, so I'll try to do that. I'd like to thank the Cinema Audio Society folks for nominating us. I'd like to thank Carrie Thomas for putting me in touch with Mike Minkler to make this product. I'd like to thank my wife who helped me. All right. This room's full of a lot of talented people. I wish I was one of them. I can't make movies or music or any of that stuff, but if you have a crinkly costume that's going into your dialogue, I can fix that. Thanks a lot. Good night.
So the SA2 dialogue processor plugin has become highly regarded for its effectiveness in post-production. What inspired its creation, and what challenges did you face in developing a tool specifically tailored for dialogue processing?
Well, a lot of that credit goes to a guy named Mike Minkler, a man who has more Academy Awards than pretty much everyone on earth. Let's just lay that out now. Yeah, Mike Minkler. He knows what he's doing.
I like dialogue that comes off the screen, that lives, front, and not necessarily loud, but off the screen. And in order to do that, I have to accentuate a little bit of the high end. And when you accentuate that high end, you're going to get these spikes. And these spikes were just then taken care of by the box.
Sonic Assault box. It was an analog box. as time went on, the box was, its functionality was, being diminished. It's just, it's an old piece of gear, custom made, a one-off.
And of course, we were fully into the digital age by then, and now I was looking for someone to do a digital version of it. And I have had, over the years, crossed paths with some other engineers and who attempted to make a digital version of it unsuccessfully. But it wasn't even close. Kerry Thomas, who I was working with at the time, said, I think I know just the people to do it over McDSP. It's my new crutch. I love it, and it works, does exactly what I want it to do all day, every day. And I get a lot of channels out of it instead of just 2. I mean, it sounds exactly the same. So it's doing exactly the same thing. And I don't have to think about it.
It's like working with people that actually really give a shit. People that really want you to succeed, just like they've succeeded, and they feel that your tool has helped them along the way, and they want to help you right back. And it feels pretty good.
I first started using McDSP SA2 on Season 6 Game of Thrones. I use it on Dialogue, ADR, and Group. Immediately, I noticed it just took a little bit of the hurt out of it. It warmed up my group in a way that production dialogue sounds. It took the edge off. I didn't have to sit there and EQ to a way that then it sounds dull. It just took a little bit of the edge off, and I could, press my audio hard into the plugin and it'd sound good.
Annalie Blank, people would say, what do you think of the SA2 dialogue processor? And her flat-out response was, you'd be a fool not to use it. Oh, I'm not a fool, Annalie. 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. Yeah, I'm no fool. I already got it back. I just want to know what you thought about it, because I already had it. I'm going to go buy it right now before she finds I don't have it. Stuff like that. So I think that those kind of people are just great. And I think that's what makes working in this business, worthwhile. After a couple of decades of obsessing and compulsing about, different audio algorithms for equalizers and compressors, at some point you go, that's a big pile of code. I mean, like a small mountain. Well, that's pretty cool. We should do something else with this code. We could take this code and we could report it back into the analog domain, but keep all the software control the way it was. We tried a few things and some of them were pretty bad. Didn't work. I would say they sucked. But a few of the things were, that's actually pretty good. And the more we get into it, the more we were like, okay. So we had a good time with it, made something that sounded pretty good, and we realized, wow, we could put a bunch of channels of this into a box. And that was what became the analog processing box. What's cool about the APB is that it does the things you want and doesn't do the things you don't want. Like, everybody loves their analog output gear. I love the sound of my analog. Oh, I got a session recall? Yeah, you do. Oh, I used that one outboard piece of gear in 6 different tracks, and I can't possibly recreate this mix because I only have one of these, and I printed all those effects again. So the APB, because it's a digitally controlled analog processor, it's got instant session recall. You just open the session up, the plugin, the APB plugin, talks to the APB box and sets up the same circuits with the same models in the same way, and bam, you're off to the races.
He's had and he has a lot of really innovative ideas. And the APB, because it was our first hardware product, it was really a big shift. And it was also sort of a gamble, because we understood how software is done. And in fact, software, you don't need a lot to get started, whereas hardware, you actually need physical things. It actually costs money to make hardware to start off with. And so it was a bigger gamble, but it's one of those ideas that once you hear about it, everyone says, oh yeah, why wouldn't you control hardware with your DAW with software?
So the first part is just convincing yourself you can try it. Putting together a team, which we did, that was capable of doing it. And so the first prototypes were actually not green, they were a silver. They just some bare metal. Now we used aluminum because it'd be the coolest, we thought, temperature-wise. But the first prototypes, they were hot, like the sun. So heat was a big problem. And so we had to sort of refine the design and find even more expensive parts that would run at the same nominal way we wanted them to, but ran cooler. Also along the way, we were doing something no one had ever done before, which was the synchronization of the audio signal and the control signal. So like when I say, hey, the gain's gonna go from here to here, at this instant in time, it's analog gear, yeah, it'll get there, more or less. The APB, it's digitally controlled. If you wanna go boom here, it'll go boom there every time. There's no question, there's no drifting in and out of where the automation playback's gonna be. It's deadlocked with the audio and the playback of the DAW. And then on that thing, it's also just temperature management. It's that, any analog device, it'll behave differently as it gets hotter in the room or in the studio. So the APB all the time monitors itself and calibrates itself over and over and over again so that you have the same consistent sound from session to session to session. Every track, right? It's got 16 channels in one box. If you happen to use channels 1 and 2 one day and you got channels 6 and 7 the other day, they're gonna sound gosh darn identical, which is pretty impressive for an analog system.
How is it received?
People are like, wait, what? So you're telling me in one box, I got 16 channels of programmable analog. Does whatever I want, and I can automate stuff, save it as a preset. Session recall is instant. Oh, that's always like 6 blinks. Session recall is instant. What? Yes. Well, what's it sound like? Headphones. Dang, it sounds really good. Okay. Put the headphones down. Okay, I'll take 5. And you're like, okay. So, the biggest thing was just getting people to hear it and check it out. I'm not trying to say that people were skeptical. It's just, it is a lot of money, and it's a big investment, and so people want to hear it. But I also appreciate that the industry professionals that we sell it to take the time to check it out. So when they buy it, they're like, oh yeah, we're sold. We're in. We're with you. Yeah, send the units. We're ready to go. McDSP has been around for 25 years. Yes. We've been around that long because we have the best gosh darn clients on earth. Maybe don't think McDSP's the cat's pajamas or the dog's meow or whatever that expression is, but by golly, our customers are freaking amazing. They have advocated for us in ways I could not have conceived. We just make some tools, and it's the people that use them that make them do great things. It's like making a paintbrush, but you just happen to give one to Michelangelo. And like, hey, I did that in the ceiling. What do you think? That's pretty good. I used your paintbrush. Thanks a lot. Sure. Cool. Great. So that's kind of what it's like. Be around for a long time as long as you have customers like that. And yeah, all I can tell them is thanks a lot. It makes my job worthwhile. People ask me, yeah, after 25 years, what's next? And I'm like, do more of the same, because I got more ideas I know what to do with. So I just want to hope I get to all of them.